know him from the Smiley Morning Show. Now he's got his own show. Radio Theology is on ZPL. Here's Pub Pastor Daron.
Good morning, friends and neighbors. It's that time again. Oh, yes, my friends. It's time for Radio Theology. Right here, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor Daron Earlywine here with Ryan and Lisa. Guys, it's April 19th, and this is day... I have no idea what day of quarantine this is.
You could have said it was March 37th, and I would have believed you.
Oh, my gosh, guys. It just keeps dragging on every day a little bit. Nope. Every day just like the one before. Mm-hmm. We are once again joining you from our closet studios. It's cozy in here, guys. I don't know. I can see you through FaceTime. Lisa, looks like you've organized some closet things behind you.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Do you guys, if you're within your closets, are you guys OCD where you do you have color? Do you have like all the blue shirts together or the white shirts together? You do that, Ryan?
Absolutely. Yes. I even then have them from like light on the left to the darkest on the right. It like goes the full spectrum of color from left to right.
See, these are things you don't usually know about people. We're learning here in the quarantine sessions on Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Lisa, what about you? How's the closet? How's it organized?
Oh, it's not.
So there's no color groupings or long sleeve groupings?
Yeah, I mean, it starts that way, and then it doesn't stay that way for very long.
Okay. I have a rack that is just, that's where the long sleeve button down shirts go, and they're not color coordinated. But then my regular, like just kind of casual clothes, I do have a section where the black shirts are together, and then like some of the white or gray shirts. But I'm not that organized of a guy, but sometimes, at least when I'm taking things out of laundry, that's the way I do them. You know what I mean? So.
Yes, totally. Yes, I think the difference is that women have so many different varieties of types of clothing
that's a good point.
Trying to organize it, it's like, you're like, I have button-down shirts and then T-shirts and sometimes sweatshirts. And I'm like, well, I've got the flouncy ones and I've got the work ones and then I've got the casual ones and then, all the things.
See, listen, guys, we were trying to find a positive of the quarantine and now we have found it. We have been friends for years. We have been doing this show for over 3.5 years. We didn't know how we organized our closets until we had to record a radio show in our closets.
Wow, I feel so much closer to you guys.
Oh, there's silver linings everywhere.
Everywhere.
Listen, your quarantine this week again, may we suggest jump on a Zoom call with friends in your closet and to see what you might discover about your friends that you never knew. We'll have breaking news like that all morning long. Thanks for joining us. It's an absolute honor to be a part of your morning this morning, right here on Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Are you looking for something new to watch, something new to binge on, a new show, a new movie? Ryan and I got you dialed in. We've got something real nice, real spicy. I don't know if it's spicy, but it's good. We got your next binge-worthy series coming up next, right here on Radio Theology. If you have watched every movie and every show that Netflix has to offer, we have got a deal for you. Breaking news, brand new show that could change your life and fill up some great quarantine time. Right here on Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor Daron here with Ryan and Lisa. And guys, I shouldn't say this. I'm not going to shoot on myself. I feel a little guilty saying this. I'm going to admit that most Christian entertainment, Christian movies, TV shows, I think they're hokey, I think they're dumb, and I don't usually like them. Same.
I'm with you there.
So I'm sorry if that's harsh. I know Ryan, the most worn shirt for Ryan during high school was his Tommy Hellfighter shirt. So I know that.
It was, actually. That and a J. Crew shirt that I had that I just wore like every week.
Have you guys ever actually seen a Tommy Hellfighter shirt?
No.
Oh, wait. You're saying Tommy Hellfighter?
No, I'm saying there was a terrible line of clothes that came out that were usually sold in Christian bookstores probably in the mid-'90s that were the Tommy Hilfiger logo, but they said Tommy Hellfighter.
Oh, no.
Just blatant copyright infringement. Way to go, Christians who just blatantly copyright infringe things.
So anyway, what I'm saying is I'm usually against that. But a couple weeks ago or last week, somebody on Facebook said, hey, I usually don't like Christian movies, but I've stumbled across this mini series it's kind of like I think there's 8 shows in the first series, a show called The Chosen, and it basically goes through the life of Jesus as he's choosing his disciples and just kind of his ministry. And I thought, well, you know what? I got time. It's quarantine. Let me see if they're right. They say I usually don't like this, but this one really blew me away. And guys, I'm 7 episodes in, and I think it's my favorite Bible story Jesus movie thing I've ever watched. I freaking love it. The Chosen.
So where do you find it if it's not on Netflix?
Well, I had to go to YouTube and just search. I just searched The Chosen on YouTube. I believe there's an app that you can download as well. So I've just been streaming the episodes off of YouTube, but I love it. Ryan, have you dabbled with it?
Yeah, I've gotten through the first season by myself, and now I'm watching it again with my wife, Lauren, and we're 2 episodes in. We try to watch an episode a night. The nice thing is the episodes are only about 35, 40 minutes long.
Yeah.
And there's 8 episodes in the first series, which is pretty cool. I agree. I think this is the best depiction of Jesus that I've ever seen put out there. So, The Passion of the Christ was great, but that picks up, Last Supper through the crucifixion. This starts when he's, in Capernaum in the town, before his ministry really, really gets going as he's picking these disciples. And so it's a really cool depiction of just who he is, who Jesus is, and who his disciples are.
Yeah, Radio Theology, a weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music, and Pastor Daron here with Ryan and Lisa, talking about the movie, or I guess the TV show, The Chosen. It's a depiction of Jesus' ministry life. I'm usually against. I think Christian stuff is usually done poorly. This is done amazingly. I've been watching it with my kids, and they love it. It's given us so many cool conversations as a family because it makes the situation with Jesus and his disciples just so relatable. I've never seen a movie or a show before where it's dude, this could totally have been what it was like. It's done so well. If you're looking for something to watch this week in quarantine, maybe something you could watch with your kids and start conversations or help get their imagination around what it could actually have been like to follow Jesus. It's called The Chosen. There's 8 episodes. You can find it on YouTube, or they do have an app. Highly recommend it. It would be a great investment of your time this week. We're just here to help you. We're here to resource you, help you find time to positively spend during the quarantine. So go check it out. It's called The Chosen. You can check it out on YouTube, or there's an app. And hit us up. If you enjoy it, hit us up on radiotheology.com this week. Let us know what you think about it. And we'll be right back. It's Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. During the quarantine, you've had to be a teacher, a chef, a handyman, who knows what else. Are you ready to be a pastor? Oh my goodness, it's Radio Theology, a weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor Daron here with Ryan and Lisa. And guys, you can't go to church now. You have to watch online. And I know we've all been trying to figure out how to be teachers for our kids that are doing, e-learning at home. But there's an interesting dynamic, I think, happening now where if you're watching church online, all of a sudden you've kind of become maybe the pastor of your family. I know it's normative to me, but I think maybe some people are I don't know. I'm not sure what everybody's doing with realizing that they may be the person leading their family spiritually in a quarantined life. How's it hitting you guys?
Yeah, so for me, I'm enjoying it, though I'm like, oh boy, I hope I'm doing okay. Because Josie, Cal's too young, he kind of knows some Bible songs or whatever, but Josie's 5.5, and so and she always has good spiritual questions. She's always asking them. And the other day we were painting, and we ended up painting for more than an hour because we were just so in the moment. And she painted a picture of God. So we talked about how she views God, which was so cool. He has a sword, and he has magic, and he has a ponytail and lots of glitter, And I'm like, okay, I've never seen him that way, but I'm like, now it's good to know how you see God when we talk about him. This is what you picture.
Wow. Yeah.
And then we talked a lot about heaven. She was asking me so many questions about heaven, and it was so fun to be like, I don't know. What do you think? Are there restaurants in heaven? Well, I hope so, And I'm like,
Yeah.
me too.
Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor Daron here with Ryan and Lisa. Talking about the quarantine gives you opportunities to have conversations about God that you probably would have never had. You're watching church now, probably online if that's something you're into. I know this past Sunday was Easter, and some of the largest attended church ever that last Sunday of people, streaming services online. And so maybe you're at home now and you're realizing you're having more of these conversations. And I think we've got to find these silver lining type things to get through this together. But I think that's great, Lisa, the fact that you know what's in your kids' imagination about that. We've been watching, we talked about it before, that Chosen miniseries. We found it online. There's also an app for it. It's this cool story, just a movie about the life of Jesus, and it's given me so many cool conversations with my kids. And you're right, Lisa, they ask great questions, and I'm even like a real deal pastor, and there's times they ask questions, and I have to be like, yeah, I don't know about that one. So, feel complete permission. If you don't know a question, it's great to say, I don't know the question, and then actually dig in and find it together as a family. But Ryan, what about you guys?
Yeah, it's been good. We the other night would have been my Nana's 94th birthday. She passed away a handful of years ago, and her first name is our daughter Olivia's middle name. And we try to share as much about Nana's life with our kids as much as we can. And in our bedtime prayers, I just said, "And Lord, thank you for my Nana, and tell my Nana that I said hi and that we miss her and that we love her." And Olivia was like, "How's he gonna tell her?" And I was just like, let's just go to bed. It was one of those moments where I just called in, just like, you know what, we're not going to go deep theological, and I know that you're just stalling right now,
right? Yeah,
kind of. You're barely curious, but yeah, for the most part, man, it's been more interesting to see me and my wife Lauren connect spiritually as much as we can, like especially at the end of the day when the day's winding down, the kids are already asleep. And I tell you, that series, The Chosen, has been great for us because it's about 45 minutes of watching and then a little bit of conversation after. But we always try to make a concerted effort to normally, even when there's not a quarantine, to pray together before we go to bed. She usually goes to bed before I do. Yeah. And so just trying to really stay on top of that, man, has been helpful for us.
Yeah. Listen, guys, don't miss these opportunities. Lord willing, we're never going to have a multiple week, month shutdown quarantine. So,
amen.
Yeah, exactly. But while we're in one, look for these moments where you can actually guide and direct and shepherd the hearts of your kids and your family. This may be the greatest gift to your family, even if it's disguised as one of the worst times we've been through in a while. Stick with us. Radio Theology, your weekly dose. Faith, hope, love, and music. If you're trying to find some hope this week during the quarantine, let me tell you where its address is. It's in the future. Hope is always found in the future, my friends, and we're going to talk about it right now on Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor Daron Earlywine here with Ryan and Lisa. And guys, we got to find hope. We've got to keep our eyes on the horizon of things we're looking forward to when the quarantine is over. So let's put together a quick list. The top things that we're looking forward to when the quarantine is lifted. I'm going to start with, I know this is just, it's kind of cliche for me. If you listen to this show, you know how much I love coaching my kids in sports. I cannot wait to go coach a game of 9U baseball. I cannot wait for baseball. Can't wait to coach it, and I can't wait to watch my kids play baseball.
Awesome.
I'm excited for you for that.
Me too.
What about you, Ryan?
I'm excited for a couple things right off the bat. Pun intended, fully, as a segue from your baseball.
I appreciate that, Ryan. I appreciate that.
I really need a haircut. My wife wants to give me one, and I'm like, you aren't touching my hair. You just aren't. There are a few people that I trust with my hair. I trust her with my life, but I don't trust her with my hair.
Hey, hair is life, Ryan. Am I right?
Yeah. And then lunch out after church.
All right.
Oh.
Because lunch out now after church is just this continuous blur that is life after streaming church in the living room.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, you guys want to stay inside more and just look at each other the rest of the day? Cool. Yeah, so a haircut and lunch out after church.
Oh, Radio Theology, a weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor Daron here with Ryan and Lisa. What are you most looking forward to when the quarantine is lifted? So far, we're talking about baseball and lunch after church. Lisa, what's in the bullseye for you?
I'm going to sum it up in this big umbrella called freedom. Because like everything I'm thinking of, I just want to go grab a bite to eat, right? Freedom. I want my kids to go to school. Freedom. I want to go to Mexico for my 10-year anniversary trip that was supposed to be in March. Freedom.
Yeah.
And most of all, I want to hug everybody on this planet. So it's going to be like, it is going to be all bets off as soon as they, like, I just can see myself in this movie running the slow-mo, dun, 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 boom, chaka, chaka. And I'm going to just freak everyone out with how much they are, like, physically loved by me.
Oh my gosh, I feel it. Yes, I too want to hug people as an extrovert with a love language, number one love language of touch. I'll be delving out some good hugs to replenish my soul. But listen, I don't know what's on your list, but make one. Don't miss this opportunity to find hope in the future, because there is going to be a future. This is going to pass, and focusing on the negative or on the past right now, or what you've missed or what's been gone, it's not going to produce hope for you. It's just going to produce pain or sadness or sorrow. Focus on the future. That's where hope is found, and that's also where baseball, hugs, and freedom will meet us and put a big smile on our face. It's Radio Theology. We are your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Thanks for listening this morning. We love you. We'll be right back. Hey, ladies. That's right. It's time for Lisa's Pieces, coming up next right here on Radio Theology. Lisa, what are you going to hit them with today? I'm
going to tell you how not to thrive in this quarantine season. Just survive. Right. Okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Surviving, coming up next right here on Radio Theology. Does your quarantine have a theme song? That's a great question, and Lisa's got an answer for it. It's probably a song written or at least performed by Gloria Gaynor. Lisa, make sense of this morning right here on Radio Theology.
Lisa's Pieces. Okay, so I have been sick and tired of seeing all of the memes and the posts and the blah, blah, blah about this is your time to thrive. Women rise up and just thrive during this quarantine. And even men, like, there's so much pressure on us right now to outperform ourselves, like the previous quarantine version of ourselves. And I'm not here for it because I don't think it's possible. And so I decided, you know what? What if I didn't want to thrive? I don't want to thrive right now. And so I started digging into the definitions of the word. So basically, I'm translating this as, I pulled a Ryan Allward. I put my nerd alert on, and I said, you know what does it actually mean to survive? Why does everybody think surviving is a bad thing? And so, according to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, it's to continue to function, to live on. Surviving. Why does that have such a bad rap? Why is it so bad to continue to function and to live on? Right? Like, yeah. Oh, but you're saying, survival mode. Oh, da-da-da-da. No, you're continuing to function. You're living on. That, for me, that sounds like thriving. And so I looked up thriving, right? What does thriving mean? And should I be working towards it? It means to grow vigorously. Guess what? This is not my season to grow vigorously. I've had more chaos, less time, more stress and anxiety. Like, there's so much more going on in my life right now that vigorously growing is not happening.
Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor here with Ryan and Lisa, and I'm guessing if you're listening right now, you're going, you know what? Praise God somebody said it, because I've been feeling it right now, Lisa.
Yes, right. And so then I started digging in, and so this is me pulling to Pastor Daron, right? We have survive, we have thrive, and now we have strive, right? So my third IVE word is strive, because when I feel like I need to thrive instead of just survive, I start striving. And so striving means to devote serious effort or energy. And that's fine, because that's what we do as moms. That's what we do as humans, right? That's what we're doing right now. We're devoting serious effort or energy. But the downfall for me comes when I pick up the second definition, which is to struggle in opposition. And so when I start striving, what I realize I'm doing is struggling in opposition to who God's created me to be. And so I'm really, for me, because I have the Holy Spirit living inside of me, I have this natural current that flows throughout my day. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's slow, but it's this pace of living that the Holy Spirit gives me. And when I'm striving for something that I'm not supposed to be striving for, I'm struggling in opposition to that, and it just makes it so much harder. So my encouragement to you is reframe what it means to survive in your mind. Continue to function, continue to live on, and in that we might even find ourselves having thrived when we come out of this, but I don't think it needs to be the focus. It's okay just to survive.
I love it, Lisa, and I think you're right. I think what people will realize is if they focus on just keep going and surviving, is they will get on the back end of this and realize there's a level of strength and growth they didn't even realize that they were accomplishing. But it won't come through striving. It will come through surviving and relying on where God's leading, guiding, directing. I love it. Listen, you need more of that in your life, and the way you get it is you go to IamMotherOfTheYear.com. Lisa's got a group of thousands of women across the country that are encouraging each other, that are sharing great ideas of how to survive during this quarantine. So just head over to IamMotherOfTheYear.com and join her community today. Each week you read news stories, and the only 3 words you can say are,
Lord have mercy.
Guys, listen, this is it's quarantine. It's not just affecting us as humans. We usually do stupid things and things that make zero sense that fill this segment up every week on Radio Theology here. But the animals, guys, the animals are even getting involved. First story, we're going to Massachusetts, where the police said they found a goat wandering around the streets. He looked confused. He looked sad. And so he did what evidently most of Americans are doing. He went to the liquor store.
Yeah.
That's so great.
The liquor store owner sees the goat walking around the back of the store, just curled up behind the UPS drop-off box, and was just confused and exhausted. So they called animal control. The goat's owner came to pick him up, and as he was putting him in the I guess the goat transport, he said, "Same, bro, same." And to that we say,
Lord have mercy.
Mercy.
Lisa, what do you got?
Guys, we're going all the way to the Horn of Africa. It's Somalia, and there is a guy there named Dr. Hyena, who instead of using traditional trained psychiatric teaching and education, he treats his patients by bringing them caged hyenas.
Oh my gosh.
And what he does is he leaves them there until the hyenas growl enough to scare away the evil spirits that are tormenting his patients.
What in the world?
I know. So there's a guy named Mohammed who has a caged hyena right now in his home. It's like 1,000,000 degrees in his little shack, and he's growling, and it frightens away the evil spirits that have been troubling him since his divorce.
If I had a caged hyena in my house, I don't know if it'd scare the evil spirits out of me, but it might scare something else out of me.
Nice, well played.
Exactly.
Well, for him, the hyena, and us, I offer a heartfelt.
Lord have
Lord
mercy.
have mercy.
Have mercy.
Ryan, what do you got?
Guys, we're wrapping up by going to Seminole, Pennsylvania. 93-year-old Olive Veronesi
Aw.
was facing a very serious problem. She's quarantining herself to avoid catching the coronavirus, being responsible. But Olive's beer supply was starting to run low, and so she stood by her window with a sign that says, "I need more beer" on it. And it went viral, and Coors Light decided to step up and donate 150 cans of beer at Olive's door, which she, I guess, has already started drinking, although one person on Twitter said, "Wait, did you deliver Coors Light or beer?" Which was clever. Olive went on record and said, "I was on my last 12 cans. I have a beer every night because beer's got vitamins in it, and it's good for you as long as you don't overdo it." So Olive is under quarantine. This is a 93-year-old woman in Pennsylvania who is just boozing her face off now. getting her vitamins via Coors Light. And for her and everyone cooped up needing more beer, we say,
Lord have mercy.
mercy. I've read a lot about how the power of God can get us through the quarantine, but let's talk about the power of a good pair of jeans and some new shoes, huh? Amen or oh me, huh?
Amen.
Yeah, thank you. Stick with us. It's Radio Theology. What can we not live without during quarantine? Well, the answer evidently is video games. It's Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor Daron Early Wine here with Ryan and Lisa. And guys, saw a study this week that worldwide people downloaded over 1.2 billion mobile games over the past week.
Whoa.
That's
the need for entertainment is strong.
Yeah, that's up 50% than a typical week. So what are we doing during quarantine? Evidently something we can't live without is video games. I will have to confess there has been quite a bit of gaming happening in my house. I have 3 boys, 15, 13, and 9, and we do spend a decent amount of time when e-learning is done and the workday is done.
Of course.
You can, we hit off the tee, we do a little baseball work, and we work out in the basement. But then the boys are on that Fortnite grind, I'm going to be honest about it. Right? What about you? What have you found that you can't live without during quarantine?
I've realized 2 things. My wife, Lauren, because without her, the train falls off the tracks and just starts to rust. But she keeps us all on a great schedule and feeling as normal as possible. And I know this is going to sound kind of trite. Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi. Yes.
I'm grateful for Wi-Fi. Like, I'm realizing more and more, too, this has been an eye-opening experience for me as a musician and a performer. Like, everything that I'm able to do to continue to not just create my art because I'm an artist and I need that, but I need that. Like, it's the way that I connect with various audiences and the way that I can still create income for our family. And so there have actually been prayers of thanksgiving for technology that are like legitimate prayers. Like, Lord, thank you for letting me still continue to work and put things out there. And what's cool is, like, I've noticed also through Wi-Fi that people have, it's really resonated with people, and they've needed encouragement and inspiration and laughter and joy in these crazy times.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Radio Theology, a weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor in here with Ryan and Lisa. And Ryan can't live without Wi-Fi or his wife during quarantine. Lisa, what have you discovered? What's the essential for you during quarantine?
I can echo the Wi-Fi and all of the technology. That can be proven by my screen time reports that I am like, well, I would care more if this was regular time, but I'm like, my screen time is up to like 5 hours a day. And I'm like, well, what else am I going to do? Of course it's at 5 hours a day.
Yeah.
But the other thing, and this might sound crazy, but it is so true. I cannot live without the goats that live at the middle school across from our neighborhood. They have become like the biggest source of joy and adventure and all of this stuff for me and my husband and then our kids. So just let's take a walk. Let's go check on the goats. So there's 5 goats that somebody comes to feed even during quarantine. And we talk to the goats. We name the goats. We have picnics with the goats. Like it is so ridiculous, but it's like, this is saved. It saved my life, these goats.
That took me off guard. I was like, Wi-Fi, yes, and then you said goats. Now I support it, but I did not see that one coming.
Yes. Well, and what with 5.5-year-old and an almost 3-year-old, it's like
point.
We've got to get out of the house. And for them, every time you see the goats, it's like, the goats, you know? 'Cause every time I see the goats, I'm like, oh, there they are again. Thank God they're still out here. Somebody hasn't taken them to a farm.
Yes.
Listen, it doesn't have to be some grandiose thing, but to keep hope and keep yourself positive. Take a minute and think about what have you discovered that you really, really need in your life. I hope it's a healthy thing. If it's not, maybe there's some correction to do in your life. But if it's video games, goats, and your spouse, I think you're doing pretty well. Stick with us. It's Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. One of the most dangerous things that you could believe during this time of quarantine is this, that you are alone. You're not, my friend, and we're going to tell you why. Right here on Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor Daron Early Wine here with Ryan and Lisa. And guys, every week here on Radio Theology, we say 3 things over and over again. We say that God is for you, not against you. We say that God has created you on purpose and for purpose, and we say that God is near you, not far away. And guys, I just released an ebook for free. I'd love for you to have it. You can get it this morning by going to IamBornToBe.com, and I will send you a free copy of the ebook called God is Near. And guys, I think one of the most dangerous misconceptions we can have during any day, but specifically in times like this, is to begin to believe the lie that we are alone and that God is not near us. And one of the reasons I wrote the book and got it out here during quarantine is just to let it be a resource to bring hope and encouragement to you that you're not alone, that God is near. But I don't know, guys, for you, I wrote the book. We released it. I'd love for you to have it. Once again, go to IamBornToBe.com this morning. We'll send you a free copy of it. But I have found myself in a constant struggle to remind myself that that's the truth.
Oh, yeah. Same for me. That's exactly what I was going to say, because I can say that. I know that's true. But in this time, I have felt really lonely, and I've gone through seasons of that, really day by day. But then yesterday, I really had this moment of going, if I can't see God, then I'm just not looking. I am just not looking. And so then I start looking, because when you know the truth, you still have to do something about it. And so that was like my easiest thing to go, okay, if I believe he's here, well, let's look for him. And then all of a sudden, he shows up in 10 different ways. And I'm like, oh, yep, you're here. Thanks. I'm so glad.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Lisa, because one of the chapters I actually talk about, you have to pray, but then you have to actually start to pay attention to how God shows up. And I think a ton of times we pray and we say, God, I feel lonely. Are you there? Are you near? And then we stop paying attention. Or when God does show up, instead of saying, oh, wow, God, you are near, thank you for that, we go, well, isn't that a weird coincidence that happened, right? That we explain God's presence away as just coincidence, that things worked out in a way that brought us hope or brought us love or peace. And I think we've got to look for it, we've got to pay attention for it, and then actually give God credit for when he actually shows up and does exactly what he said he's going to. It's Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor Daron Earlywine here with Ryan and Lisa. Would love for you to get a free copy of my new ebook, God is Near. I wrote it to help you battle one of the lies that I know all of us are wrestling with right now, is that we feel alone during this time of quarantine. And Ryan, what is a way in your life that do you kind of continue to remind yourself that God is actually near?
For me, it's conversations that I'm able to have with friends using technology and just things I hear us say to one another. Yeah. I had the other day 3-hour-long either FaceTime or regular calls with people who I hadn't talked with in a long, long time. One was a 26-year-old kid who's a performer at Disney. I say kid. I'm 38. Another was a friend who is a longtime session singer, and she's adapting to these new times. And then the other was a realtor here in town. And every one of us is a believer. And so we're talking in a different circumstance now, but we're able to encourage one another and like give something to the other person that's going to help us get through that next couple of hours and be uplifted. And for me, man, it's harder for me because I interact so much with God out in nature. I really have to carve those times out and be very intentional to say, I'm going to go clear my head and connect with him for even the next 30 minutes. And if one of my kids is with me, all the better, you know. I think all in all, this time has been good, but it's certainly been testing what I thought I knew about my spiritual life.
Sure.
You know, but it's been great so far.
Well, listen, we every week want to bring more faith and more hope into your life. And if you've been battling with the feelings of being alone in this, I want you to get the ebook. It's totally free. I'll send it to you this morning. All you got to do is just go to IamBornToBe.com and register. We'll send you a copy of the brand new book, God is Near. And I know it'll encourage you this week to know you're not alone. God is near, you're not far away. And that may be just the hope you need right now. Head over to IamBornToBe.com this morning and get the free ebook. Don't go anywhere. The thought of the day is coming up next. It might be the best 3 minutes and 30 seconds of your life, or not. I don't know. It's going to be encouraging. Stick around. The thought of the day is coming up next on Radio Theology. God is near you, not far away. Every week on Radio Theology, I say that same truth. And in fact, this truth, it guides my life. This truth that actually guides my emotions and my decisions. This simple truth is actually foundational to my entire life. And I believe in these times of uncertainty, it can be foundational for you too. I think one of the most harmful misconceptions about God is that He's in a galaxy far, far away. And if we believe that God is far, far away from us, it makes having a personal relationship with Him seem, impossible. And I don't want you to live like that, because you don't need to. Because God is near you. He's not far from you. In fact, God's heart from the beginning of time has been to be near you. You see, the Bible starts in the book of Genesis explaining that the reality that God and humans originally dwelt together on earth. You are created to be in the presence of God. How cool is that? You were created to enjoy the personal presence of God in your own life. Now stop for just a second. Stop and think about that truth. Think about that in your life. Think about your job. Think about your stresses at work. Think about your fears and failures. Imagine that you were never intended to experience those situations, those stresses alone. You were not created to walk through life alone. In fact, living a life without the nearness of God, without God as your companion, is actually abnormal. Now imagine walking through your life with the Almighty, all-loving, all-knowing, all-gracious, all-merciful, all-wise, all-generous, that's a lot of alls, all-faithful God walking by your side. Maybe take it up a notch and imagine living your whole life with God, not just by your side, but actually within you. What if you could live your whole life and actually participate in God's nature within you? Wow, that would be an amazing life. That would be living life to the full. And this is exactly what God created you to live. And that's the life I want you to live. Because I know you want your life to matter, but fear is your enemy. And right now, fear is trying to get you to believe that you're alone. Fear is trying to get you to believe that God is in a galaxy far, far away and doesn't care about you or your problems or your dreams. But friend, I want you to hear this morning. Fear is a liar, because God is near you and He has created you on purpose and for a purpose. And when you discover that purpose and God's nearness to you, you will discover the amazing worth that God has created within you. And when you know that worth, you will start changing your world. And that's why I want to send you my brand new ebook, God is Near. It's a quick 5-chapter read. You can knock it out in about 25 to 30 minutes, and it will help you get your mind, your heart, your imagination around the fact that God is near you. In these uncertain times, there may be no message more important than this one. I want to send you the book this morning for free. All you have to do is go to IamBornToBe.com, register with your email, and I'll send you the book this morning. I want you to have it because I believe one of the most foundational truths that could change your life during this quarantine is to come to know, to understand, and believe that God is near you. Head over to IamBornToBe.com this morning, register with your email, and I'll send you the free book this morning. This is Pastor Daron Earlywine, and that has been your Radio Theology Thought of the Day.
I love that reminder of God's nearness. Thanks so much.
Well, I do my best to lift your spirits, not just yours, but all of the Hoosiers in Central Indiana. Oh my gosh, guys, it's been a blast to be with you this morning. We are in our closets recording this show. But it means the world to us that we're able to join you in your car or in your Alexa or over your phone. And hang in there. Be encouraged. We're going to get through this. We're going to get through this together. And it's been a joy and an honor to be a part of your morning here on Sunday morning. We love you. And until we talk to you again, I want you to never forget these 3 things. God's for you. He's not against you. He is near you. He is not far away. And He has created you on purpose and for a purpose. We love you guys. Talk to you soon. This has been Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music.